Welcome back. We are going to continue with our spreadsheets lesson, and today we will slowly start doing a little bit of practicals. Please watch in full screen once we start with practical. Follow the mouse movement. Practice at home after the class gets over. That's very, very important. So I'm going to continue from where we left last time. You were learning about the advantages of spreadsheets. Now you're going to learn about rows and columns. This concept you have learned last year. I'm going to refresh your memory and then we will proceed because these are the basics. You should know about all of them. Okay. Now, what you have here in the form of a table, this is what you learned last year. And you also learned that horizontal lines are known as rows in a table. The same concept is followed in a worksheet also. Worksheet, when we say worksheet, you're going to learn what it is, but this is how it is going to look like, the second picture that you have here. Now, horizontal section of the table or a horizontal line in a worksheet is called a row. Now, here this is your first row, the one in dark blue in this table. Here, this is your third row. Now, if you look at this picture here, this is a screenshot of Excel, just a small part of it. If you look here on the left side, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. These are row numbers. This is your first row, this is your second row, third row, fourth row. Now, fourth row has a long line that is going through in the worksheet. This means the particular row has been selected. Right now, row number 4 is selected. See what you see here? On the left side, where you have the row numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on, this part is called the row header. Header. This part where you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and so on, that is called the column header. Columns are vertical. You're going to learn now. So here, columns in a worksheet. Column is the vertical section of the table. This is your first column. This part is your second column. Please follow the mouse movement. This is your third column. This is your fourth column. So columns are vertical. Now at the intersection of a row and a column, so rows are horizontal, columns are vertical. So at every place where a row and a column meet or intersect, the box that is formed, all of these, each one is known as a cell. So this is the individual box formed at the intersection of a row and a column. Now, just a recap. Now, I'm going to close my video so that you can see it properly. This part to the left, as I explained a little earlier, this is the row header. This top part, only some of the columns are circled, but all the columns where the column names are, this is the column header. And you need to remember a few things. Rows are always numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. Columns are always named. They are named with an alphabet or a combination of alphabets. So after it goes from A, B, C, D till Z. After Z, it becomes A, B, AC till AZ. Then BA, BB, BC till BZ. It keeps going. And what you're going to learn is 2013 Excel. In 2013 Excel, in every sheet, there are more than 16,000 columns and more than 10 lakh rows. We are going to learn them in detail. Now, every box that you see here, each one of them is a cell. Okay. Now, some of the components we are going to see now, but as we go along, you will understand it better. But I'll just point out now. Now, this part where a cell has a big bold boundary, this is called an active cell. So wherever you position your mouse and click inside Excel, That particular will cell will have this bold boundary. That would be called the active cell. And this box here, where it says A1, this box has the address of the active cell. Now you're going to learn about cell addresses also. How do we find out a cell address? Those things are going to come. Row numbers are listed to the left here. Here you find sheet 1. Now this is called a worksheet. Before we go into worksheet, look at the title bar on top. It says Book 1 Excel. So whenever you open Excel, what you get is known as a workbook. When we open Word, what we get is known as a document. When we open PowerPoint, what we get is known as a presentation. But when you open Excel, that's the one that you're going to learn now, what you get is known as a workbook. In short, we call it as a book. You can see it here. Okay. Now these ones that you see here, like undo, redo and all, right now there is nothing there because no work has been done. This is save button. This part is called the quick access toolbar. Certain commands will be listed here. You have the different tabs here: File, Home, Insert, Draw, Page Layout. All these are different tabs. This part here, where you have the paste command and all these commands till here, is called the ribbon. Ribbon in PowerPoint, like ribbon in PowerPoint, this is ribbon in Excel. Now this is called the function, where you find a small f with a x written as a subscript, fx. This is called the function or the formula bar. This is when we type function or formulas, it will appear here. Column headings are listed here. The down part is called the status bar. The status bar will have the zoom control, that is to maximize or minimize on your view. It will also have the different types of document views like print layout or other types of layouts. And sometimes this shows the sum or product of the data values here. Okay, this part is there. And we can, in every workbook by default, we get 3 worksheets. They'll be named sheet 1, sheet 2 and sheet 3. We can add more sheets or we can delete sheets as per our need. Now, again, another representation just to make sure that you get all these things correctly, okay? Quick access toolbar. Here, earlier it said book 1. Here this person has saved it. So it says my workbook is the name of the file. And because it's an Excel file, the extension would be .xlsx. So it's a Microsoft Excel file. This top part is the title bar. So these are the different tabs. So tabs display different groups of commands in the ribbon. The whole thing is the ribbon, starting from here, this corner, till this corner. And this ribbon will change depending on which tab you are going to select or which tab you are in. So this is where we have the address of the active cell. Now look here. C, column C, row 4. At the intersection of column C and row 4, the cell has a bold boundary, which means this is the active cell. The address of the active cell, that is column name, followed by the row number, is given here. So this is the name box. Now this is the formula or the function bar. Now we have some data typed here. 5 is typed in A4, cell A4. 2 is typed in cell column A, row 5. So this address would be A5. This address is A4. Now we have added those two, A4, and please look here, look at the mouse. A4 and A5, we are adding it and we are putting it in cell C4. Okay, this is the selected cell. Now the small dot you see on this active cell where the mouse pointer right now is. This is a small square, black square. That is called the fill handle. As we go along with the lesson, you will understand it better. When we group a number of cells together like this, here we have selected from C10 to D10, E10, C11, D11, E11. So about 6 cells are selected together or grouped together. That is called a range of cells. And underneath you see the 3 sheets, worksheet. Right now, see, sheet 1 looks like it is pressed. That is the active sheet. Sheet 2 and sheet 3 are also available. If you click on this small icon, you will get more sheets. This line at the bottom is the status bar, as I explained in the previous slide. Next, components of spreadsheets. We are going to learn about each one. Before that, to start, that is to open Excel, what do you need to do? You just need to double click on its icon. Or you may also open Excel by typing Excel in the search box and then clicking on the open option. And now you're going to learn about the terms. Workbook. When you open Excel, what we get is known as a workbook. A workbook consists of a collection of worksheets. By default, that is by itself, Microsoft Excel gives us 3 worksheets. We can add or delete worksheets in a workbook. We shall learn more about it later. Now, from the slideshow mode, I'm going to now minimize this or reduce this size and then open Excel for you. Now, if you find Excel icon here on the desktop, you can open it. Right now, I don't see it. Yes, I have it here in the taskbar, but I want to show again to you how to get it. See, when I click inside the search box, because I'm using these programs often, so these are listed here. If you don't see it, you start typing here. Type Excel. As you start typing, your computer gives the clue. It has got the app. Yes, this is the one that I want to open, and the open option comes. So I'm clicking on open. I need a blank workbook. Okay, so I selected blank workbook. Now my Excel has opened. Now look here, book 1. So this is a workbook. When we open Excel, what we get is a workbook. This is how you start or open Excel. Now, right now, one sheet is here. When I click on this plus sign, I get the other sheets. Now, if you look carefully, the older versions, automatically 3 sheets will be there. 2013, you have to click on it to get it. Even the newer versions, you will have the same thing. Now, sheet 3 looks like it is pressed. So, sheet 3 is the active sheet. I want to make sheet 1 as the active sheet. So, let me come here and click. Yes, fine. Now, here, if you look here, A1 is the active cell, which means this cell has the bold green boundary. And if you look here in the name box, the address is listed. Column A, always alphabet first. How do you get the cell address? Alphabet first, column name first, followed by row number. So alphabet column is A, row number is 1. If I click here, this is column C, row 1. So look at the address here, it is C1. Now if I click here, column is C and 4th row is here. It's behind the record button, so we are not able to see it. Let me click in a different place. Now if you see here, this is column B, intersection of column B and row 6. So the address is B6. This is how you find out the cell addresses. This would be column D, row 1. So the cell address is D1. You can see it here. This is where we have the functions. So these are worksheets. Each sheet has more than 10 lakh 48,000 cells or rows in it. So how do I go there? I'm going to do a shortcut. If you see at the row number towards the left, 10,48,576. This is the last row in this sheet. Like that, we have for every sheet, we have 10,48,576 rows. Now, if I'm going to come back to the first row. Now, this is my last column. Okay, it is 14,000 and odd 576 or something. So that is the last column of the worksheet. So every worksheet has that many columns. Now let me minimize this. let's go to our, this is to make sure that you have understood worksheet. Okay, worksheet is a grid of cells made up of horizontal rows and vertical columns. Number of rows and number of columns vary from software package to package. That is 2003, 2010 and all, they have 10,48,576 rows. The earlier versions had something little less. And 16,000, I'm sorry, I said 14,000, 16,384 columns. Each intersection of a row and a column is called a cell wherein data can be stored. A cell is the smallest but most powerful part of a spreadsheet. So every small square that you saw is a cell, and that is the most powerful part. It is the intersection of a row and a column, which gives cell a unique address. A cell is a rectangular box. So far you have seen that. Next, cell address. I explained it to you. I'm going to read it again. A cell address contains its column number. We call it as column name and row number. If a cell is on 11th row on column AB, I told you after Z it becomes AAAB, then its address would be AB11. Active cell. It's a cell on which the cell pointer is currently selected. Okay, it's a cell that is currently selected. Whatever you type or do is done on active cell only. An active cell has a boundary called cell pointer, a highlighted rectangular box. You saw the green rectangle around the cell, that is the one. An active cell's address will show in the address bar, that name box that you saw. You can activate a cell by clicking on it or by using your arrow buttons. Now, when we say we can type data in it, I'm going to show you. Now, our active cell is A1. If I type FAPS, it comes inside the cell. We are in A1, the content is FAPS right now. If I click here and if I type, so this is the active cell, the content is raw text. So you can click inside and type in any cell, okay? So this is how it goes. So row and a column, it was explained to you in picture form. A column is a vertical set of cells. Every column has its own alphabet for identity, starting from A, that's the first column, till XFT, that's the last column. That also I showed you. You can select a column by clicking on its header. The column in which the active cell is located is called the active column. Row is a horizontal set of cells. Every row has its own number for identity, starting from 1 to 10,48,576. That also you saw. The row in which the active cell is located is called the active row. Now I'm going to show you in Excel. Now look here. We are in column C. So this is the active column. And right now the row number is hidden there. Now here we are still in column C, that is the active column. Here 8 is the active row. So 8 is highlighted, it's shaded a little darker. The same way C is shaded a little darker. Now if you want to select a column, you have to click on the column header. So when I click on C, the column header C, the whole 10,48,576 cells in this particular column is selected. If I want to select F, all that I have to do is go there. See, the mouse pointer has changed to a thick down arrow. When it changes, you click with the mouse, the whole thing gets selected. When it is selected, you will find that long line going through the worksheet, which will select all the cells in that particular column. Now, if I want to select a row, I need to move my mouse to the row header and then click on the row number. So 16th one I have clicked. Now all the cells in that particular 16th row is selected. Starting from column A to column XFT, everything will get selected. So that way we select the column and rows. Now these things have been explained to you. Address bar, Address of the current cell, that also we showed, is also called name box. The address bar is a small input bar at the left side of the window. It shows the address of the active cell. If you have selected more than one cell, then it will show the address of the first cell in the range. Formula bar is an input bar below the ribbon, the one with the FX next to it. It shows the content of the active cell, and you can also use it to enter a formula in a cell. Formula and function, we will deal with it in the next class. Title bar shows the name of your workbook followed by the application name. You saw book 1 Microsoft Excel, then my workbook, Microsoft Excel. So that part, the top part is the title bar. Okay. Now with that, I'm going to end today's class. Please do the homework that is given. We'll continue in the next video. Thank you. Stay safe.